The end goal is always to be able to express yourself creatively. I think that definitely looks different for a lot of different people.
In bars and clubs, I think that to evolve and develop, you need to provide the right platform to learn and to grow.
Being able to nurture that creative talent through education, it's a challenge that's maybe not present in like day-to-day business.
If our team are working in the very experimenting environment, it will make them more creative.
Creativity comes from so many different places, and I think without that, bartending can't exist.
No business survives by being stagnant, by constantly doing the same thing again and again and again. So it's important that as teams grow, as companies scale, you still have to find a way of providing a space where risk-taking and creativity can occur. My name is Brian Buirge. I am the owner, co-founder, creative director, and chief janitor of Good Fucking Design Advice, which is also known as GFDA. We go into companies, corporations, businesses, agencies, studios, and we work with creative teams and we help them to develop their culture so that people can feel comfortable bringing their best creative self to work all the time. People need to evolve and to challenge themselves. It's a rewarding experience, but also just from a business sense, it's like you need to be coming up with new ideas and new approaches. And so fostering that kind of culture and that environment where creativity can thrive is immensely important.
It's very important to maintain the experimental vibes in our bar because when the customer, they walked in, they can feel what we're trying to deliver to them. I'm always teach our team to be themselves by creating the enthusiast environment. So I think they can develop themselves in a natural way. My name is Taln Rojanavanich. I'm from Messenger Service Bar and Bar Us, which is based in Bangkok. I'm the founder and bar manager of both places. Messenger Service is my first place that we opened the cocktail bar. So this place is like my experimenting place. It's my playground. And at Bar Us, we're trying to make everything more conceptual. From my background, I am a product designer and also an interior designer. So I start the bar with zero background from F&B. So I think 100% self-taught. I have never joined any class or any competition. So I was learning by read the method. I'm trying to twist a bit to make it work in my way. Education can be taught by an experience. I also want my team to think the same because it's the best way that they can think outside the box.
But being a good craftsman means also to have an understanding of the foundations, and that's, to me, essential. And from there on, you can build on creativity. My name is Philip Bischoff, and I'm the beverage manager here at the Four Seasons at Chao Phraya River in Bangkok. And I'm looking after everything that's liquid in the hotel. And then I have the chance to look after this beauty behind me, the Bangkok Social Club. This is Michele. He's the restaurant manager of Riva. This is the first restaurant I'm going to show everyone. It's our Italian restaurant. So now we're heading to Brasserie Pamir, our casual French brasserie concept. One of my favorite places in a hotel. Love to sit here, just enjoy a good dish by Chef Nicolas. Café Madeleine, also one of my almost daily favorites. Outside the bar, this water feature. We're very surprised that so far no one out of the bar actually fell into the water. To me, the most important in the beginning was to set a foundation and get the basics right. Making sure that everyone has an understanding for balance and for concepts within the outlet. So when we speak about Italian beverage program, the focus was on giving a framework for Italian products, Italian drinking culture, whereas the lobby lounge was the little bit more local approach, and then the bar with the Argentinian approach that kind of gave the framework for the creativity that we wanted to achieve. And once that's established, then we want to progress and want to move on and become more and more creative.
I do think it's an important part of, if you are in a leadership role, to be able to identify people that want to take the next step, putting them in spaces where they can exercise that creative muscle and be able to have a little bit of flexibility in showcasing their own style. I'm Alexis Belton. I am the beverage director at Metropolis by Marcus Samuelson in downtown New York at APAC NYC. So my role here is to develop a beverage program at Metropolis, which pairs well with the food, that is sticking to classics, simple flavors, and then showcasing a little bit of creativity as well.
This is actually the restaurant. I do want to direct you to the light schematics in the ceiling. This restaurant was designed by David Rockwell. His light schematics are pretty famous in New York City. This is going to be the bar. So here's where all of the magic is going to happen. This is going to be our kitchen space at APAC. So right now we are back of house or behind the scenes. It looks a little glamorous right now because there's not a bunch of bodies speeding around, but this is kind of where the restaurant's going to operate.
My career, so I took a job at the Aviary, and I was there for about 8 years. The Aviary had a speakeasy downstairs, which is called The Office. And while the Aviary was a very specific set menu of items, The Office was a space where there was a lot of dealer's choice, a lot of space to maneuver between different flavor profiles and spirits, and essentially playing off of what the guest wants to experience. And so sometimes we would identify people that their next step would be to enter down into the office and to work one-on-one, sometimes with a manager, and learn how to understand the process of building drinks and how they can begin to manipulate those to become their own.
You don't want somebody that becomes very comfortable staying in the areas in which they know really well. Creativity is finding something new to bring to the table that wasn't there previously. My philosophy is you want to hire people that are better than you, and you want to find people that have strengths that you don't. And I think a lot of times people, when they're hiring, there's an insecurity that happens. There's a little bit of an ego thing that happens. And so they want to be the ones that are in charge. And they also sometimes want to hire people that are not as strong because maybe they'll stick around longer. But that's not kind of my philosophy, and I don't think that that's a good long-term strategy. I think the good long-term strategy is to bring people in that are brilliant and better than you, and to nurture them so you're getting the best of the best. Maybe they're only with you for 3 months, maybe they're with you for 3 years, maybe they stick around for 10 years, but it doesn't matter, because that enthusiasm and passion that hopefully that person has is good in the long run for the company, even though it may be difficult from time to time that, you know, your best talent ultimately ends up going somewhere else. It's better to have the best talent than to settle for subpar and then, you know, kind of drag it along.
Me and my partner, we opened a small hostel. Everything starts from that place. Like half of my staff, they used to work as a front receptionist at the hostel. I'm open to everyone who wants to work in the bar, but you have to have 100% of the passion, and it will create the creativity after that.
When it comes down to hiring someone, creativity would not be a KO criteria, because I believe everyone has a different degree of creativity, and it will come out at some point. We have people who have never worked in the same environment, who've never worked in that kind of hotel bar. In the past, I hired people from retail, and they became great waiters, but also great creative people. So it depends on how we can guide them and give them the tools on hand to become creative.